So the latest model I've been working on, the Airfix Lockheed P38H Lightning, is about 98% complete. And I thought, well, that's a good enough time as any to get into the next one, or at least open up the box and see what we're working with. So today, that's what we're going to do. We're going to open up and unbox the 70 Plymouth Superbird from Revell. And I haven't made a car kit in quite some time. Hi there YouTube, Al here from One Man Many Plans, and of course the blog of the same name over at onemanmanyplans.com.au. Speaking of the blog, that's where you'll find the progress of the models that I've been building across 2024, and when I say across 2024, I mean pretty much in the last few weeks. If you're new to the story, I found some cheap plastic model kits in local op shops, only a handful of bucks. I thought, yeah, I used to make these as a kid, let's do them again in my 40s and see how we go. And I've got to admit, I've really enjoyed the process so far. It's taken me back, but it's certainly pleasing when I actually finish a kit, because I haven't done that in a very long time. I mentioned the Airfix Lockheed P38H Lightning, the Air Aces edition from 1989. This one just about done. A little bit more green in patches and, yeah, touching up the propeller. That's about it, I think, at this stage. I can't say that this was a particularly easy build, even though it's, it looks to be a very basic kit. Lots of little fiddly parts, lots of tiny little parts in a couple of instances. I don't know if it's just me, there was a couple of parts of the instructions that weren't exactly 100%, or I wasn't 100% clear on. So, there are a couple of bits missing. And a couple of tiny pieces that I just thought, nah, too hard basket. I need the dexterity of someone with far more dexterity and some super tweezers and that kind of gear, but most of the parts are there. A couple of issues which I've listed up on onemanmanyplans.com.au is the fact that I went to the local paint store or the hobby store, couldn't find a drab olive green to save myself, got the nearest closest thing, so I had to make do with that. The decals, I love them and I hate them. I really do, because when they stay and in place and dry in place, that's fantastic. The problem is that when I'm applying another decal to another part of a model, usually that's when the first decal goes, right, I'm going to make a break for freedom and it's time to get on out of here. So they were a little hit and miss. I'm going to say about 90% of the decals are actually on the model, but as much of a challenge as it was, and it was quite a few steps up from the Mustang that I did originally, I had a great time, and it's just so nice to go back to those memories, sit out on the back couch, whether it's raining or blazing sunshine, it's nice in the fresh air, just to sit and paint, usually with a podcast or an audio book playing in the background or on some wireless earphones, and wowee, what a fun way to spend some time. And speaking of spending time, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be working on my next kit probably this weekend because it's my daughter's birthday. She's having a sleepover. We're talking 6, 9 to 10-year-old girls all doing makeup and all sorts of party stuff. And my wife said, have you got things to entertain yourself? I said, I certainly do. I have a street burner. And that's what we are opening up today. We're going to pop it open and have a look what we're working with for this 70 Plymouth Superbird. One plastic kit, one kit plastico. Let's have a look what we've got. So we're going back to the year 2011 when this one came out, so obviously far newer than the other kits that I bought from 1989, but that's still 13 years ago. So 13 years ago, someone bought this and put it on a shelf in their home or added to the pile of things that they were going to eventually get round to building. And then whatever happened, whether they ran out of time, whether they ran out of space, whether they just gave up on modelling, or perhaps it's from a deceased estate, I don't think I'll ever find the story of this, whether the original owner or the person that moved the estate on donated it to an op shop. And that's where I found it. I found it as is, $8. Fantastic. I went, that's an absolute bargain, because a model like this, I reckon, in a store would cost you $30, $40 on up, and the price keeps going up. So to find a complete car model, and I'm hoping it's complete. I'm hoping no one's done a reseal job on this and, this part's missing. We'll find out in a sec. For just $8 is an absolute bargain. Although it has been quite some time since I've worked on a car model, and even worse than that, finished a car model. Usually I've been playing with Tamiya gear, and I love the Tamiya RX-7s, but I've had a couple of them. They've gone by the wayside. I think the last Revell kit I had was some kind of American muscle car from the 60s. Memory's very vague. Obviously, it didn't stand out. I painted it black because, you know, gloss black, why not? That was years and years ago. So it's been a while since I've opened one of these kits, put one of these kits together, especially this particular brand, and even just had a look through. And that's what I'm looking forward to today. I'm hoping for, you know, nice rubber wheels because there's nothing like that sensation of it. I know you can 3D print whatever wheels you want. So if I really wanted B45 Simmons on this thing, I'm not. I could do that, but I love the rubber parts that come with it. It does say it does have decals. Probably not many. I'm very, very happy with that. The big issue I know I'm going to run into is I will have to paint it by hand because the airbrush seen better days. Still not working. I've tried to resurrect it many times. I probably should buy another airbrush. It is Black Friday coming up this Friday, so maybe there's an airbrush bargain somewhere. But otherwise, let's have a look at what we're working with. Now, I have to admit, I am more a JDM type of car nut. I've owned a few, including a Sora, twin-turbo Sora, WRX, RX-7, lots of fun cars. Nissan Stagea, I love that wagon. So I'm not big and I don't know too much about American cars, but you can't not say that this was absolutely iconic, this particular model in the 70s with that huge spoiler up the back. I've just removed, oh, there you go. I've just removed the price tag. And I don't know if you can see that, but it actually says, and I'm reading this backwards, that once upon a time, this was $39.99 plus GST, goods and service tax, here in Australia. So this was 40 bucks. Someone bought it for 40 bucks and then went, that's enough. It's as far as I'm going to get with this. I am thinking, yep, the original orange. I don't think you can go past it. I'm sure there's possibly Superbirds in other colors, but we're going orange. Now, the box is a little bit indented. I'm guessing there was some other stuff on it. I don't think it's going to affect things too much. We'll check that in a sec. It is moderate, level 2, so glue is required and requires paint. I can handle that, no problems at all. What else have we got before we get into it? It's going to be 9¼ inches long. Great, fantastic. I'm working in centimeters, so that's what I'm going for. It's 65 pieces, body molded in white and water slide decals. There you go. The 1970 Plymouth Superbird is a unique limited production muscle car originally designed as a high-speed racing competition car. Powered by a triple-carbed 440 cubic inch V8 engine connected to a heavy-duty 4-speed manual transmission and dual exhaust. That's what we're playing with. So, enough reading the box. Let's get into it and find out what we're working with here. Oh, fantastic. First thing I notice is that the sprues are still in their plastic. Great. So it looks like no one has opened this since 2011. My fears of it being rewrapped are unfounded. Great. Lots of chrome bits. And it's been such a long time since I've had a model kit with chrome bits because we're talking, you know, 70s and those cars of that ilk that loved everything in chrome. A lot of the JDM stuff doesn't come with it. So that's pretty cool. You know, you've got your chrome hubcaps, air filter hood there as well. You've got chrome bumpers, lots of little chrome bits. Nothing majorly small apart from a couple of little ones that I'm thinking they must be mirrors. That's the smallest piece in there, which is great. Probably not going to lose that. Next up, plastics. Just reminds me to get a type of glue that doesn't fog up or doesn't do anything in particular with plastics because I've just been using super glue. I know when I use polystyrene cement, you'd get that real sort of foggy thing down the bottom of canopies and screens. So some clear glue needed there, but that's the only bit of clear plastic in it. Okay, excellent. Yes, the wheels. Now, interestingly, they are very, very thin. You could use them as a ring if you really wanted to. I like, you know, this is just a personal preference. I'd like some really fat rims on this thing. But look, I'm going to use what it comes with. If I decide to change it later on, so be it. But I love that rubbery feeling. I've got a 3D printer, and I certainly could set it up for TPU filament to produce similar kind of tyres things, but yeah, how cool are these things? So I've got some rubber tyres to work with my Superbird. All right. And then it's just one big lump of everything, which means we might as well open it up and have a look because, you know, it's one thing showing you everything in one bag, but let's go into the bag. The body, look at the size of that. That is sensational. And I really want to do justice to this body, especially in that iconic 70s orange colour. Is it Sunburst Orange? I'm not sure. I'll have to check the official paint code. Or someone, if you know, please let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that's sensational. That's going to look great when it's all said and done. I love models of this size. Nothing wrong with the little models that I was making, the Airfix gear before, but I like, you know, big size models. So to have this for $8 is sensational. So a really, really strong body there. When I used to work with cars, I would sand them back and I would prime them up. I'm still thinking I reckon I should with this one, because it's that kind of body that really deserves that extra step and extra attention. We'll see how we go with that. Okay, next in the bag of goodies we have the body panels. So we've got the front, you've got the hood, you've got the wings for the spoiler, that monstrous size spoiler, which is absolutely awesome. And there you have, it looks like, yeah, it looks like brake hubs. Couple of, I'm guessing that might be an engine part somewhere. Oh no, sorry, that's the back, that's the rear. That'll be the diff. Fantastic. So some body parts to play with there. We move on to the exhaust system. Steering wheel, you've got a lot of pipe work, and naturally I want this to be in a nice sort of silver, stepping away from gunmetal colour. I really want this thing to shine and look absolutely sensational, kind of like you'd see at a coffee and cars event when one of these comes along. There we go, the frame, or the bed of the car, nice and simple, one piece there. Nice bit of detail on it as well. I mean, no one's going to be looking under my model, I certainly won't be, but it's there, and that looks great. And that just leaves our final sprue. You've got some big seats. You've got some rear seats as well, and of course that fantastic V8 to put together and start to, well, pretend to make noise with, I guess, if you are that way inclined. You've got the interior as well, the interior piece ready to go. Again, I like the size of this thing because I'm not going to stress too much on, you know, painting tiny little details when I can get paint on everything nice and easily. There's going to be plenty of room to work with. This is going to be a lot of fun. So that is the plastics side of this particular kit. A little bit of plastic came flying out, and that just looks like it's doesn't look like anything in particular. It just looks like a plate, not even a number plate. So whether that's fallen off a sprue or that's for something else, I'm still going to keep it just in case, because knowing my luck, that'll be a vital part, and the car won't be finished without it. And that just leaves a rather thick booklet. Oh, and decals. I've really got to stop dropping stuff. Decal wise, big thick black stripes ready to go. I reckon a lot of people might paint theirs on. I couldn't do a fine line as nicely as those on the either side of those big thick stripes, so I will be using these decals. But it looks fantastic, and you've got your Champion stickers in there, and you've got your Firestone for the tyres, and Union and the other Bell. You've got Superbird plates, which I think is absolutely awesome down. So a couple of number plate options, brilliant. 426 cubic inch signs. Yeah, this is cool. This is a very, very cool model. The instructions are nice and thick. This is new. Oh, maybe it has been quite some time since I've seen this, but it literally names every single part, which I think is great. So if you're like me and you're not exactly sure what a part is, or you've got a vague idea, you can check and you can go, is number 18 a radiator hose? Yes, it is. Okay, so full parts list, which is awesome. And it really doesn't look complicated to put this together. So no over and under parts, no cutting through here, no doing that. It's a very basic but detailed kit. There's a lot of parts to put together, and I think I'm going to have a lot of fun putting this together. And then, of course, decal guide up the back ready to go. So here we are. That is going to be, well, part of my weekend's entertainment, and I really, really can't wait. So let me know, have you built this one before? Are you a big fan of the Superbird? Do you own a Superbird? What's the color code on this thing? that kind of gear. Again, thank you so much for checking out my latest unboxing video, because when I put up the one about the Lockheed, I thought, oh, we'll see how this goes. Such a great response. You guys are awesome. Thank you all for the comments. If you have, like I said, if you've built this one or you're planning to build this one, let me know. Any tips and tricks, that kind of stuff, apart from get yourself an airbrush that works, Al, I'd appreciate it. Otherwise, like, follow, subscribe, all of those good stuffs. I really, really, really appreciate you checking out what I'm doing here. And I'll be back soon with hopefully a partially completed Superbird model or something else to talk about. Catch you soon.